Hello everyone, I'm Brazen Eagle, thank you for joining me here. So, as the title of this video states, I'm talking about marriage today, and why men are not supposedly living up to it. Well, we've got an article here that precisely tells you why men are not getting married. Now, I could go into a very long video about why men aren't getting married with information and data, but this article sums it up pretty much for me. So, written by John Davis, it's about a 3-minute read, very, very short. So he basically talks about that the media says that men are supposedly afraid of commitment. And he says, John Davis, the writer here, says men aren't afraid of commitment. When men walk away from commitment and marriage, they're making smart choices. Fear doesn't enter men's minds when they walk away from women in our modern culture. You know, I would argue that a lot of guys, especially early on, maybe in their teenage years, they want commitment from, a girl they like. I would argue that. I would argue that quite a bit. That initially guys do want to be committed to someone. Maybe not in marriage, but at least committed for a while. But anyways, John continues to go with, there was once a time when marriage was an honorable institution. It was not that long ago. It really brings into the question, why do people marry? That really brings into the question that. So he goes on, as mankind rose from primitive savagery to civilizing the world, blah, 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 marriage was vital to the stability that permitted these advances in human history, like running clean tap water in your faucet or your sink. He goes on saying marriage was a balanced set of cultural traditions and values in which men and women supported each other, assumed roles, he says gendered roles, but really just roles, that encouraged them to support each other and provide a means for men and women to enhance their lives through the synergy of mutual care, respect, responsibility, knowledge, blah, 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 for and about each other, yada, yada, yada. And obviously this guy understands. John understands that these days, they're long, long gone. Marriage is no longer an honorable institution. Well, it's still an institution. It's definitely not honorable. And honestly, most guys look down on other men who get married nowadays. And he also says that it's simply a device of the neo-Marxist state to exploit men. Well, neo-Marxist state to exploit men? Well, maybe not initially, but maybe nowadays it is a neo-Marxist idea for men to get married. So he goes on and says, what's the benefit of a marriage to a man? And he's completely right. Marriage offers nothing to men. At one time, men could enjoy trusting a woman with his love and sexual feelings. Current government regulation and social regulation, however, has, demonized and criminalized every aspect of men's feelings and sexuality in and especially outside of marriage. So, at one time, men could count on marriages to last a lifetime. That would be great. I think more men would marry, initially, if marriages lasted pretty much forever. This gave the man, his wife, and his children stability and the incentive to work together as a family for long-term benefits and gains. Now, though, especially in the past couple decades, women file 80% of all divorces, which is an insane statistic, and it's usually within about 8 years of marriage, and then use the biased and oppressive family courts to strip a man of his children, life savings, and leave him without any sort of network to help support him. Our laws and family court judges are designed to encourage women to get a divorce, alienate children from their father's protection, and exploit men for the convenience and enrichment of the neo-Marxist state, or just for the state in general. So basically, men are dying from suicide at 6 times the rate of women in some age categories. There's a lot of man-hating and misandry going around, especially in our institutions, especially in the college scene. Some in the military, definitely in education, like with colleges, law, religion, especially religion, nowadays. And that a man basically loses everything in most marriages. Most marriages. Not every single marriage, but most. To meet draconian government regulations of marriage, man must abandon his personal support network of friends, and, when he's divorced, and impress into the service of the state to pay a tax called child support, and he no longer has time or energy to form personal support networks of friends. Men walk away from marriage and commitment with women out of intellect and common sense choice. It's just a common sense thing to do. Fear has nothing to do with it. Now, men are just not afraid of marriage. They understand the consequences of getting married. They're not pretty. So basically, he put it in a little. I don't know if this is from him. This is probably from someone else. This female sex predator. So basically, it says a lot of women act like they are doing a man a favor by marrying him. But think about it like this: he gives up his freedoms, leaves his home, distances his friends and support groups, moves in with you, fathers a child with you. His life will be destroyed from long hours of toil and worry about supporting his family. He faces enormous physical, emotional, and spiritual pain each day, and he knows he will live a lot less longer than you, with no government support groups for his health or well-being. Even his children can be taken away from him at any time by a ruthless government and a court system that is corrupt beyond imagining. Until the day he dies, everything he does benefits you, really. So who is doing who a favor? Don't ever let a female tell you that she's doing you a favor by letting you marry her. Women only get married to exploit men. Pretty much it. Only reason why marriages happen. And that's pretty much the end of the article. I guess he's from Ohio. I don't really want to call him out, but I'm going to link this article in the description for you guys. This guy, he knows what's up. He knows what's really going on. And I just wanted to share this article with you. And it kind of saved me time from doing a bunch of data that would prove all the points that this guy said. But I think this article pretty much sums it up. So with that in mind, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you agree with my opinion, as well as John Davis's opinion, that marriage is just not smart for any man to get into. So anyways, thanks for watching, and have a great day.